Hello, how are you today? I wanted to shoot a quick video for you to share a little bit about the Recovery Life Lab. So the Recovery Life Lab is something that is near and dear to my heart. It is something that I created because I saw a need out there. So maybe like me, you've been in tons of recovery Facebook groups and you kind of see the same situation happening over and over where people are very much struggling, or there's a lot of negativity, or just people are very much focused on the beginning of the recovery process. And not that there's anything wrong with that. There's certainly people that need that support. But what I was finding is that for people that are a little bit further down the road, there isn't very much support for those people. So that's why I created the Recovery Life Lab, because I wanted to have a supportive community for people that are actually already in recovery and want to move beyond maintenance, want to, move from struggle to thriving, want to really up-level their recovery and their life, right? Because that's an important part of the recovery process. At a certain point, you get to a place where you look at your life and you want to make your life areas better, not just your recovery by itself. So all of these things have to be in alignment and working in harmony, and so that's why I created the lab. So you could have a place where you're continuing to learn new skills, learn new techniques, be around supportive people, and keep progressing forward and not always feel like you're getting pulled back into the beginning stages, into the struggle, or into any negativity. So I say here this is a high-level group coaching membership community, and I say that because the strategies that I share in the Life Lab are strategies that I learned getting a master's degree in spiritual psychology. So a lot of people always find this really cool that I got sober through spiritual psychology principles and practices, and people are always very curious about that. And those are the tools and the techniques that I very much share in the Life Lab. So if you're into learning tools, techniques, if you're into practicing what you're learning, if you love personal growth, if you love developing yourself, then this is going to be the right place for you. Uh-oh. There we go. So this is also going to be for you if you want to be thriving. So this is an important part of the process, is wanting to thrive, wanting to get out of the struggle, wanting to get out of victim consciousness and really move into creator consciousness, where you can be empowered, you can learn how to manage your life in a way that feels good for you. Like, you have to have that desire, or this doesn't really make sense for you. Another thing is, being active, being engaged, being somebody that really shows up and is positive and participates. If you're not really interested in showing up to this, then it's not going to be the right fit. And if you're somebody who is just not about the struggle and are really about up-leveling, then this is going to be a really good fit for you. So let me take you inside the lab so that you can see a little bit of what it looks like. So here we have the dashboard, and you can see that there is something called the round table, or the table. The round table is really for daily posts. So people will come into the round table and they will either share something that's going on for them, they will share some homework that they completed, they will share, their experience of what's happening. And so this is a really nice place to be able to continue to bring awareness to your process and share your process with other people. Another thing that people really enjoy is that I get to spend time with you a couple times a month. So there's 2 calls that we do. We do them on Zoom, and they are live calls where we go over something very specific. So either there's a new tool you're learning, or there's a life area that we're focusing on. We're very intentional with what we're working on so that you can feel like you're improving in all of your life areas and that you're learning new skills, you're learning new tools that you can implement in your life. So that's what the lab is really about. There's also a tab called the Up-Level Library. So if you're somebody who digs worksheets, loves workbooks, that kind of stuff, then you're really going to enjoy the Up-Level Library, because this is where I house all of my recovery tools. So this is where you're going to find webinars, you're going to find interviews that I've done with people, you're going to find some of my videos, you're going to find some of my courses. I just uploaded a self-discovery course, and it's got 7 audios and I think 18 worksheets. So there's so much great content to get into just with that one thing. But there's many things in there that you can do on your own time. So it's very self-directed. We've got our 2 calls a month, but if you want to work on some other things that are in the lab, you can totally get into those things whenever you like. And then there's a shop tab that doesn't really have too much going on in there. I do like to share Louise Hay and the Hay House, because there's lots of great books and cards and tools that they provide. So it's just, a nice place to kind of look around and see if there's anything that could support your process. And our last slide here is just a sample month. So this again is what it looks like within the Life Lab. If we are in February, then you would just go to the February tab, and that's where all the recordings would be housed. And basically, the structure of the month is that there's 2 calls, usually the first week and the 3rd week. And week 2 and week 4 are really for implementing what we're learning. So maybe there's a worksheet we're working on, or we're creating a practice, or there's something, a tool that we have talked about that you will want to create for yourself and implement. I know recently we did an ideal scene, so everybody used week 2 to create an ideal scene after we have talked about it in our call. So there's space to learn something new and then to implement it. And that's really what the Life Lab is all about. It's really for the people that want to keep growing, want to keep evolving, want to keep learning new skills so that they stay on top of their thoughts and their feelings and don't let that overtake their behaviors. So I really specialize in supporting people in working with their thinking and working with their feelings. Because if we can keep those things under control, if we can have awareness about what's happening and then work with what's coming up for us, be it anxiety, depression, resistance, or just old stories that we tell ourselves, we have to work with that stuff. We can't just ignore it. We need to work with it, but you have to learn how to work with it. And that's where I come in, because I see a lot of people not knowing how to work with their mind and with their feelings. And those are 2 things that are going to always be really critical to your process. So it's better to learn how to work with those things now than to keep pushing that off and thinking that you don't need to do that kind of deep inner work. So hopefully this was helpful for you to see the kind of stuff that we do in the Recovery Life Lab. If this looks cool to you, if this looks intriguing and something you would like to do, there's going to be an opportunity for you to hop on the wait list until we open up again. So I hope this was helpful. I enjoyed talking through it with you. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you.